Sometimes in life you might feel like you're losing interest in everything. Things that once excited you no longer seem to spark any joy. You might be asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel so disconnected from the things that used to matter? This feeling can be unsettling, especially when the world around you expects you to constantly be on and thriving. But what if I told you that this feeling of losing interest isn't something you should panic about? It's actually a sign of something deeper happening within you. This loss of interest could be the very thing that is setting the stage for your next great transformation. When you lose interest in everything, it doesn't mean you're falling apart or losing your way. It means you're in the process of shifting. This shift is an important moment in your life, one that is preparing you for something better, something that aligns more deeply with your true self. This transition can be confusing because it feels like you're walking through life in a fog. The things you used to enjoy might seem dull, your daily routine may feel repetitive, and you might even find yourself wondering if you're just waiting for something to change. The truth is, you are changing, whether you realize it or not. And losing interest is often a sign that you're about to step into something new, something more meaningful. You are not stuck. You are in the process of growth. It's easy to confuse the feeling of losing interest with feeling numb or disconnected from life. When everything starts to feel flat, you might wonder if you've become emotionally shut down. But there's a key difference between being numb and undergoing a shift. When you're numb, you might feel nothing at all. There's a heaviness in your chest, a sense of emptiness that you can't quite explain. You might struggle to get excited about anything, and your energy feels drained, as though you're running on empty. Numbness is a response to overwhelm. It's what happens when you're carrying too much or when you've been ignoring your true feelings for too long. It's your body's way of saying, I need a break, I need to rest. On the other hand, when you're changing, it may feel similar on the surface, a loss of interest, a withdrawal from old activities and people. But beneath the surface, there is something powerful happening. This is a shift. It's a time of recalibration, where your soul is guiding you to evolve into the next version of yourself. You might not see it right now, but the lack of interest in your current circumstances is your inner self creating space for something new to come in. This process is essential for growth. Imagine you're a plant in a pot that's become too small. At first, everything seems fine, but over time, the roots begin to get cramped. When it's time for a new season, the plant will start to lose its vitality in its current pot because it's ready to grow. Similarly, when you're going through a shift, you begin to lose interest in what no longer serves you, so you can make room for new growth. One of the most common feelings when you're in this transition is the realization that the things that used to bring you joy no longer do. The hobbies, the routines, the people, all of it might feel dull and unfulfilling. This can be a painful realization, especially if you've been holding on to things or people simply out of habit. But what you might not realize is that this sense of dissatisfaction is a sign that you're evolving and that your current environment is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. When you start losing interest in certain things, it's not because there's something wrong with you or because you've outgrown them in a bad way. It's simply because you're stepping into a new chapter of your life, one where your interests, passions, and values are shifting. What once brought you comfort may now feel limiting. This is perfectly normal. As you grow, you begin to crave different experiences, new perspectives, and deeper connections. Think about it like this. You've been driving down the same road for a long time, and you've memorized every turn, every pothole. You might have even enjoyed the view at first, but now that road feels boring, and you're craving something new, something that excites you again. It's not that the road has changed, it's that you have. You're ready for a new adventure, and your soul is guiding you toward it. This shift often happens when you start to realize that certain things, people, or activities no longer resonate with your higher purpose. You might begin to question why you've been holding on to them for so long. It's as if a veil has been lifted and you're able to see the things that were once familiar in a new light. The things that no longer serve you begin to feel like dead weight, and you naturally start to let them go. This process can be uncomfortable at first. Letting go is never easy, especially when it involves things that were once a big part of your life. But it's a necessary step in your spiritual growth. The universe, or whatever higher force you believe in, is constantly guiding you toward what aligns best with your soul's purpose. And when you're no longer aligned with the things around you, the universe will gently push you toward change. And sometimes this means you'll lose interest in the things you once thought were important. The in-between space, where old interests and activities no longer fulfill you, but new ones haven't yet appeared, can feel like a void. It's not uncommon to feel lost or adrift during this time. You might feel like you're in limbo, unsure of who you are or what you're supposed to do next. This is one of the most challenging parts of any shift. But remember, it is also the most important. When you're in this space, you are in a period of deep transformation. The old is falling away, and the new has not yet taken form. This void can be disorienting. It may feel like you're waiting for something to happen, but nothing seems to be coming. You might find yourself wondering, what am I supposed to be doing? But the truth is, this in-between time is essential. It's like when you clear out your closet. You have to make room before you can fill it with new clothes. This period of transition is where the magic happens, even though it might not feel that way at first. In this space, you are being recalibrated, reshaped, and redirected. The things that no longer serve you are making room for new experiences, relationships, and opportunities. But before these new things can come into your life, you have to first release the old, and that process takes time. During this in-between phase, it's important to be gentle with yourself. Don't rush the process. It's okay not to have everything figured out right now. You don't need to have all the answers, and you don't need to fill the void immediately. The most important thing you can do in this space is to allow yourself to simply be. Trust that the universe, life, or whatever you believe in is taking care of the rest. When you find yourself in this place, remember that the discomfort you're feeling is a sign that something beautiful is about to emerge. You are not stuck. You are simply in the process of transformation. Allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, but know that you are exactly where you need to be in order to grow into the next version of yourself. Trust the process and be patient. The new you is already on its way, and soon you'll start to feel the spark of interest and excitement once again. The first 3 sections lay the foundation for understanding what's happening when you lose interest in everything. They help reframe what may initially seem like a loss or stagnation into a powerful period of personal growth and spiritual awakening. By recognizing the shift as a natural part of the journey, you can approach it with more peace and understanding, knowing that it's all leading you to something better. One of the most important lessons during this period of change is learning to stop forcing your energy. When things begin to lose their spark, the natural instinct is to push harder, to try to make things happen, to stay busy, to force yourself to feel something. But the truth is, when you try to force yourself into action during a time when your energy is naturally low or shifting, you only create more resistance. Instead of pushing against your feelings, it's crucial to learn how to honor where you are right now. Think about a time when you've tried to force a situation to work. Maybe you were trying to make a relationship fit, or pushing through a project that no longer inspired you. The harder you pushed, the more difficult it became. You may have even found yourself feeling more drained and overwhelmed. This happens because you are going against your natural flow, and when you do that, you burn out your energy reserves. Forcing yourself into action when your soul is telling you to rest is like trying to keep a car running when it's out of gas. The car will eventually stop, no matter how hard you try to keep it going. Similarly, when you push yourself beyond your limits, you will feel exhausted and disconnected from the things that once mattered. During these moments of feeling disinterested or lost, it's important to resist the temptation to force your energy into something that doesn't feel right. Instead, practice listening to your body and your inner guidance. Rest when you need to. Take breaks, slow down, and allow yourself to recharge. Remember, it's not a sign of weakness to rest. It's a sign of wisdom. By honoring your energy, you give yourself the space to heal, reset, and regain clarity. When you stop forcing your energy into things that don't serve you, you'll begin to notice that new opportunities and inspirations come to you naturally. Instead of pushing, you will learn to flow. During this time of shifting, the universe or your higher self is teaching you invaluable lessons. While it can be frustrating or even unsettling at first, these lessons are exactly what you need to move into the next phase of your life. The process of losing interest in things that once brought you joy is not a punishment. It's an invitation to align more deeply with your true self. One of the first lessons you'll learn is patience. You might be used to a certain pace of life where things happen quickly and your goals are met without too much delay. But in this space of shifting, you're being taught to slow down and trust the timing of your journey. The universe works on its own schedule, and often things happen not when we want them to, but when we are truly ready. Learning patience during this time is crucial. You are not being denied anything. You are being prepared for something better. Another lesson you'll encounter is trust. You may find yourself in situations where the path ahead isn't clear, and you're left feeling uncertain about what's next. This is where trust becomes essential. Trust that the universe has a plan for you, and trust that everything you've gone through has led you to this moment for a reason. Trust is the foundation that allows you to move forward, even when you can't see the whole picture. When you embrace trust, you allow yourself to relax and stop worrying about the how and when of life. Lastly, you will learn to cultivate inner peace. In a world that constantly demands more from you, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos and noise. But during this season of change, you are being taught how to find peace within yourself. You are learning to sit with the discomfort of not knowing, to be okay with uncertainty, and to find calm even when the world around you feels uncertain. This peace comes from accepting the present moment as it is and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. When you embrace this lesson, you stop chasing external validation and start finding contentment from within. Now that we've explored the lessons and the deeper meaning of this period, it's time to take a moment to release the built-up tension, fear, and worry that might be holding you back. Release is an essential part of the shifting process. It's like clearing away the old, stagnant energy so that fresh, positive energy can flow in. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs with fresh air, and exhale slowly, letting go of any tension in your body. Feel your shoulders relax and your jaw soften. Let your body settle into the present moment. Imagine that with every exhale, you are releasing the weight of everything you've been holding on to. The doubts, the fears, the shoulds, and the expectations you've placed on yourself. Now picture yourself standing beside a beautiful river with water flowing gently in front of you. In your hands, you are holding a few stones. These stones represent the worries, fears, and burdens that have been weighing you down. Each stone carries a different fear: fear of not being good enough, fear of missing out, fear of change. Take a moment to feel the weight of each stone in your hands. These are the things that have been holding you back. One by one, gently place the stones into the river. Watch as they sink, carried away by the water, dissolving into the current. With each stone you release, feel your body and mind become lighter. As the stones disappear into the river, feel a sense of relief wash over you. You no longer need to carry these fears. Let them go, knowing that life will carry you forward with ease. Feel your chest open as you breathe in deeply. With each breath, you are making more space for peace, trust, and clarity. Let go of the need to control every outcome. You don't have to fix everything right now. Simply allow yourself to be present with where you are and trust that everything is working out as it should. As you finish this release, gently bring your awareness back to the present moment. Feel your body grounded and relaxed. You are ready to continue this shift with an open heart, knowing that you are supported by something greater than yourself. The process of letting go is not always easy, but it is always necessary for your growth. When you allow yourself to release, you make space for new opportunities, new perspectives, and new experiences to enter your life. These sections focus on how to honor the shifting process by learning to stop forcing energy, embracing the lessons of patience, trust, and peace, and practicing the release of fears and burdens. Through this work, you will begin to create the space necessary for transformation to unfold naturally. When you let go of the pressure and resistance, the universe will guide you to what is meant for you. When you lose interest in everything, it can feel like life is asking you to pause. But many people don't know how to pause without feeling guilty. The mind says, I should be doing more. The mind says, I should be happier. The mind says, I should be able to fix this fast. And that pressure can make everything feel heavier than it needs to be. The truth is, this season is not asking you to force yourself back into the old version of you. It's asking you to move through this in a softer way, a steadier way, a way that respects what your heart is trying to tell you. Moving through it does not mean you have to figure out your whole life. It doesn't mean you need a perfect plan. It means you take simple steps that support you while the shift is happening. Think of it like walking through fog. When you're in fog, you can't see far ahead, but you can still take the next step, and that next step is enough. You don't need to see the whole road to keep moving. You just need to stay kind to yourself and keep your life gentle and steady. One helpful step is to give yourself permission to rest without making rest a problem. Rest is not laziness. Rest is your system resetting. It's your spirit catching its breath. It's your body saying, let me recover. If you're tired, let yourself be tired. If you need quiet, let yourself have quiet. The world may not always understand this, but you can understand it. You can honor your need for softness. You can stop arguing with your own feelings. Another step is to simplify your routine. When your interest feels low, big tasks can feel overwhelming. So make things smaller. Bring your day back to simple basics. Eat something nourishing. Drink water. Open a window. Take a shower. Clean one small area. Do one small thing that makes your space feel calmer. These are not tiny or meaningless actions. These are grounding actions. They tell your mind and body, I am here, I am safe, I am taking care of myself. When you do simple basics, you start building stability from the inside. It also helps to reduce noise. When you're shifting, you are more sensitive than usual. Too many opinions can confuse you. Too much content can drown out your inner voice. Too much scrolling can make you feel more empty because it gives you more stimulation but less meaning. So give your mind less to hold. Even for a short time each day, step away from the constant input. Let there be space. Let there be silence. Not because you're running away, but because you're listening. Your inner self speaks softly. It doesn't shout. If your life is loud all the time, you won't hear the gentle direction that's trying to guide you. Another helpful step is gentle movement. When you don't feel excited or motivated, intense goals can feel like too much. But gentle movement brings energy back into the body in a quiet way. A slow walk, light stretching, a few deep breaths outside. These things tell your nervous system it's okay. They help emotion move. They help stuck feelings loosen. Sometimes interest returns after energy starts to flow again. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed your body to come back into balance. It can also be helpful to keep your world small for a while. This doesn't mean you cut off everyone or disappear. It means you choose what feels safe and simple. Spend time with people who don't demand a performance. Spend time with people who let you be quiet. Spend time with people who don't take your low energy personally. You don't need to explain your whole inner process to everyone. You can simply protect your peace. You can say no more often. You can step back from draining conversations. You can choose calm. This is not selfish. This is healing. Another step is to follow small sparks instead of chasing big passion. Many people panic because they think they must feel passion all the time. But passion doesn't always return as a big fire at first. Sometimes it returns as a tiny candle, a small interest, a little curiosity. You might notice you enjoy a certain song again. You might notice you like being in the morning light. You might notice you feel calmer when you write a few lines in a notebook. Don't ignore those small sparks. They are important. They are signs that life is still moving within you. When you follow small sparks without pressure, they grow. But if you demand that they become huge right away, they can shrink again. Treat the spark gently. Let it breathe. You can also support yourself by speaking to yourself differently during this time. When you lose interest, your mind may turn against you. It may say harsh things. It may shame you. It may compare you to your past self. But shame never brings your spirit back. Kindness does. So begin to talk to yourself like someone you love. Begin to say, this is a season, it will pass. Begin to say, I am not broken, I am becoming. Begin to say, it's okay to not feel excited right now. Your words are powerful. The way you speak to yourself becomes the atmosphere you live in. Let these simple words become your steady place. I am allowed to move slowly. I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to not have answers right now. I am allowed to be in between. I am safe in this moment. When you repeat these kinds of lines, you stop treating your shift like an emergency. You stop chasing yourself. You stop trying to force a feeling that is not ready. And that is when your energy begins to come back in a real way. Moving through it is not about fixing yourself. It's about supporting yourself. It's about building a bridge from where you are to where you're going. And you build that bridge with small, steady steps. Not with panic, not with pressure, with patience, with softness, with trust. There is a reason this change feels so deep. When you lose interest in everything, you're not only changing what you do, you're changing how you relate to life. You're changing what you value. You're changing what you accept. You're changing what you tolerate. You're changing what you want to give your energy to. And that kind of change is not quick. It is not loud. It often happens in the quiet spaces where you can finally hear yourself again. The mind may want a clear answer right now. It may want to label the feeling. It may want to control the timing, but the shift does not ask for control. It asks for trust. It asks you to stop pushing against the season you are in. It asks you to stop judging the present moment. It asks you to stop turning your inner process into a problem. Because the truth is, your inner self is doing something wise. It is pulling you away from what no longer fits so you can return to what is true. Sometimes you lose interest because you have been living on autopilot for too long. You have been doing what you think you should do, not what you truly feel. You have been carrying habits and patterns that once helped you, but now they hold you back, and life has a gentle way of turning down the volume on what is not meant for you anymore. It doesn't always do it in a dramatic way. Sometimes it simply makes it feel empty, not to punish you, but to free you, not to take something away, but to guide you toward something real. So if you are in this place right now, remember this. The emptiness is not the end of your story. It is the space where something new can be born. It is the quiet room where your spirit can breathe again. It is the pause where your next direction begins to form. You might not see the new path yet. That's okay. New paths often appear after you stop forcing. They appear after you rest. They appear after you release what you're gripping. They appear when you stop demanding that life makes sense right away. There is a kind of wisdom in not knowing. There is a kind of peace in saying, I don't have to control this. I only have to stay open. If you feel behind, breathe. You are not behind. If you feel like you missed your chance, breathe. You have not missed what is meant for you. If you feel like you lost yourself, breathe. You are closer to yourself than you have been in a long time. Because when the noise fades, the truth becomes easier to hear. Let this be the quiet truth you return to. I am shifting into something better. I am not stuck. I am not failing. I am not lost. I am being guided. I am being cleaned out from the inside so I can live from a more honest place. And what is meant for me will meet me when I am ready to hold it with peace. You do not need to chase the next chapter. You do not need to force the next feeling. You do not need to make yourself excited just to prove that you're okay. You can allow life to bring you back to yourself slowly. You can trust that your joy will return in a new shape. You can trust that your interest will return in a new direction. You can trust that your energy will come back when it is done resting and resetting. Sometimes the biggest growth happens when nothing looks exciting on the outside. Sometimes the deepest healing happens when you feel quiet on the inside. Sometimes life is doing its best work in you when there is nothing to show yet. And one day you will look back and realize this was not a dead end. It was a turning point. So instead of asking, what is wrong with me? Try asking, what is trying to change in me? Instead of asking, how do I force myself to care again? Try saying, what is ready to be released? Instead of asking, when will this end? Try whispering, I trust the timing of my life. That one line can soften your whole system. It can bring your mind out of panic. It can help your heart feel safe. Let this be your steady practice. When you feel lost, come back to the breath. When you feel empty, come back to kindness. When you feel unsure, come back to trust. Not loud trust, quiet trust. The kind of trust that says, even if I can't see it yet, I know something is working in my favor. Losing interest in everything can feel scary, but it does not have to mean something is wrong. Often it means you are being called into a new stage of life. It means the old ways are fading so the real you can rise. It means your spirit is asking for space, for rest, for honesty, for a new direction that fits who you are now. This season is not here to break you. It is here to reset you. It is here to bring you back to what matters. It is here to teach you that your worth is not tied to constant excitement, constant doing, or constant proof. You are allowed to be quiet. You are allowed to be in between. You are allowed to take your time. So hold this truth gently. Interest returns when you stop forcing it. Joy returns when you stop chasing it. Clarity returns when you stop shouting over your own heart. And life always knows how to guide you when you are willing to soften. Take this moment and breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let your hands unclench. Let your heart feel the simple comfort of these words. I am changing in a good way. I trust what is happening in me. I trust the timing of my life. I am safe to let go. I am safe to begin again.